Hello? Who's there? Well, gosh. This is a surprise. When I saw movement, I thought it might be one of those awful, feral goblins some people seem to have turned into. You don't look like a goblin, though. Or an outlaw. So, just exactly who are you? Well, I can't argue with that. We find ourselves in very strange times. You haven't immediately tried to kill me, at least. That's a pleasant change. Sometimes, I think I'm the only sane one left in the zone. I'm Joyce, by the way. Joyce Tanner. How'd you do? Well, we can put questions of identity aside, I think. Seems I should be thanking you. I gather that you're the one who's responsible for restoring the power supply here. I've been trying to get in here for simply ages. I've just about given up hope. My, but you're full of satiable curiosity, aren't you? Well, I've nothing to hide. There was an expeditionary convoy sent in a few months ago. And Muggins here was seconded to it. I'm a communications specialist. Girl boffin, the squaddies call me. They needed us ladies to hold up the science end of things. I was drafted in, along with a Dr. Garrow. They say she was a big name here, before the disaster. Anyway, the expedition did not go swimmingly, let me tell you. We barely made it into Slattendale when the bridge was blown out from under us, and the convoy wrecked. Before we knew what was happening, we were beset by a horde of whooping maniacs in masks. It was awful. She came in by air. Our helicopters fared even worse. The interference field around this whole site brought them down. The helicopter carrying her crashed in the woods. I can mark the spot for you, for what it's worth. I doubt any of them walked away from that wreck. Poor devils. I think I may well be the sole survivor of the convoy. But things are certainly looking up now we're in here. Isn't it a remarkable sight? The interchange in all its glory. I was beginning to think I'd never see the inside of it. Think of all the secrets that might be hidden here. Well, the interchange itself seems to be wired together like some sort of big computer. These data stores all connect to the central data processor. Though with the power cut, it looks like it's gone into a sort of a dormant state. No doubt that was part of the drill to get this place mothballed when the disaster happened. Whatever it was. As for the research they were doing here, well, I don't know. You could poke around and find out, I suppose. The important thing is that we're in here, and I cannot overstate my delight that you managed it. Now, finally, there's a chance I can get into the communication systems proper. And listen, we don't need to trust each other just yet. But maybe we can work together. It's a bit of a two-person job, this. Look, if I can get a message through the interference field, I should be able to sort out an exit for us. I'd need a whole array of transmitters to punch through the interference, though. There are a few radio towers across the area that should do the trick. I've restored power to them, but I seem to be locked out of their controls. The operators must have isolated the towers from the network when the quarantine was declared. But look, if you could find each tower and release the security lock, I can fiddle around this end and try to use the array to blast out a signal. Here, I'll give you map coordinates for each tower. Good luck. Do your best. And try not to get eaten by any goblins.
Attention! Wyndham Village is under the authority of the Quarantine Protocol. Acts of banditry and other breaches.
Well, well, well. Just look what the cat dragged in. Pay attention. This village is under military occupation per the Quarantine Protocol. You're new round here, eh? Which means you're free to enter. Just keep your nose clean, all right? What are you gawping at? Like I said, you're free to enter the village. Move on. Just like that. Captain's orders. He says any stranger might be important, so he just send any like you his way. Unless you're an outlaw, of course. Or worse. I reckon he'd be keen to see you right away. Last I heard, Captain Sims was down by the bandstand. Present yourself to him toot sweet, if you know what's good for you.
Well, should I shoot him, Sarge?
You should not. Do they look like an outlaw to you?
No, Sarge.
There we go then. Outlaws we shoot, strangers we let in. Captain's orders.
Do as you're told, right? To think I used to win. Hometown being born. To be back in Swindon now.
Anyone who is unfamiliar to you, report their presence as soon as possible to the controlling authority.
Look, for the 100th time, we're here to protect civilians and get this mess sorted out.
Oh, aye. Get a lot sorted out by kicking the elderly out of the rooms, do ya?
You know what the captain said? We have to move anybody vulnerable inside the inner perimeter.
Vulnerable? The bloody cheeky you.
Not sure I like the look of you.
Citizens of Wyndham, pagan practices of any kind are strictly forbidden. Any breach of this regulation is punishable by death.
It's a wonder we haven't all gone mad living like this.
This is the transaction. Oberon must die. If Oberon is dead, then the way out will open. You will awaken as if from a nightmare. This sequence is assured. If Oberon is dead, then the way out will open. Others have and will offer you escape. To follow their advice is at best optimistic, at worst foolish. Be careful. Trust only me.
It's the World Cup this year, isn't it? I'm sure it is. I hope England's out.
So I said to him, "Where's my pal Johnny? What you done with him?" And that bloody peacock says, "Oh, Mr. Wilmore is currently detained."
He never. They put poor Mr. Wilmore in that prison of theirs. What for?
Wouldn't say, would he? Eh?
One more city gives me a week and I'll top the bastard. Orders be blown.
Beyond the village palings. Do you have a good reason to leave the village?
he was still here with us, he'd have spat in the eye of visible.
Bastions of normality within the zone. Keep it that way. Be normal.
One more civvy gives me cheek and I'd top the bastard.
Late edge to the top of the village. I'm going mad.
I miss seeing John Mills at pictures. He's right dreamy.
Let's not have any trouble.
Keep it civilized. No troublemakers.
It's like having another bloody war.
The citizens of Wyndham, you are reminded that any building marked as sterilized is most...
A new customer. How'd you do? Welcome to Wyndham Village. Pardon my curiosity, but how is it the soldiers let you in? Did you bribe them? And if you did, what with? Aye, well, I can hazard a guess. Our little Napoleon, the captain that is, he keeps an eye out for folk like you. A stranger might be important. And if you're important, then that's another stepping stone out of the zone, isn't it? Anyway, where are me manners, eh? I'm Morris Wick, owner of this establishment. Take a look at what I have to offer, if you fancy. Oh, you'd have to ask him that yourself. I'll leave that pleasure to you. Me, I'm happy here in the shop, where I never have to look at the man. Big explosion, that's what. I remember it woke the whole village. We were out in the streets, wondering what were what. I mean, With all them atoms and such like they have over there. The soldiers rolled in and told us we were fine, that there weren't no radioactivity to be frit of. But then, in the next breath, they said we couldn't leave. Temporary quarantine protocol, they called it. Temporary, my hat. Look at them walls. Nowt temporary about them, is there? We had no choice but to take it on the chin. So we did. Well, most of us did, anyhow. In the months after the disaster, some people started to turn a bit odd. Nothing bad, just different, you know. Kept going on about the soil calling to them. People you'd known your whole life, proper sober folk, suddenly talking about a new purpose. Then one night, they all upped and marched off into woods. Soldiers have been properly down about any talk, since that might sound a bit, you know, pagan. I shouldn't be talking about it neither.
Citizens of Wyndham, volunteers are required for work details.
Better than nothing, mate.
Work out or help out. Citizens of Wyndham, acts of insubordination or disrespect against the soldiers protecting you here are in essence treasonous and will be treated as such. Please, don't make us hurt you.
See that big metal bugger?
If you
I
need to
could
approach
have
the
it.
woods for foraging, request an escort at the village hall.
This blasted place.
Good day.
You'll forgive me if I'm less than cordial on first acquaintances, I'm sure. New faces often mean trouble. And yet, they may bring new opportunities, too. Tell me, where have you come from? Really? Well, you're not the first amnesiac I've seen since things went awry. Trauma does strange things to people. In case it wasn't made clear to you on the way in, Wyndham is under the protection of the protocol. You are permitted to move freely through the village. For now, at least. Consider it a gesture of goodwill. I hope it'll be reciprocated. But don't go causing any trouble here. Is that clear? And if trouble finds you, make sure you report it. Post haste. Now, there are certain things I like to discuss with new faces such as you. I would hope a stranger like you can provide me with some information. All in good time. First, you need to make yourself useful to me. I want to know where you came from. I want to know what you can tell me about the outside. Trust me, you will be much better off aiding protocol than crossing us. Be under no illusions. We must eradicate the corruption that festers here before there is any hope of leaving this blasted place. If we were to work together, you and I, perhaps we might make some progress towards such an outcome. But step out of line, and I will revoke your liberties here just as quickly as they were given. So I ask again, did you come from the outside? What do you know? Well, this is disappointing. I was hoping you'd have something you were willing to share. We imprison strangers at the first whiff of trouble, but you can keep your liberties for now. I trust that will be more conducive to a timely recollection of your origins. In the meantime, be wary of this place. Do not be tempted to engage with any of the pagan sentiments some of the locals may try to foist on you. Such beliefs are dangerous and forbidden. Do I make myself clear? And if you still wish to have protocol's aid, you'll just have to make yourself useful to me in other ways. The civilians in this village are a shady lot. Resistant to discipline and up to no good. I'm sure of it. We can hardly get the time of day out of them. But you're an outsider. They may not trust you exactly, but nor are they immediately suspicious of you. Sniff around. Keep your ears open. If you find anything I should know, come to me with it. If you want somewhere to start, well, we've had our eyes on Iris, the baker. I could send a patrol in, of course, but a softer approach might prove more efficacious. That is a very dangerous word to be bandying about. I suggest you forget you've ever heard it. Whatever evil the scientists had hidden in there, it has wrought havoc on this place. So no one goes near the substation, understood? Anyone trespassing there will be shot.
Wish the CEO would just let me show him what I can do. We're getting nothing done here.
Citizens of
Not even
wisdom.
food convoys
Acts
coming
of
in.
insubordination
Just more
or
soldiers,
disrespect
like we need
against the
anymore.
soldiers protecting you here are in essence treasonous and will be treated as such. Please, don't make us hurt you.
Get a move on, you lot. You're never gonna make your salvage quota arsing around like this.
What do you need all this sodding metal for anyway?
The artificer needs it for armor. It needs to keep you lot safe. Keep it civilized. No troublemakers.
State of this place. Leave tomorrow if we could.
A bit of democracy wouldn't go amiss. Thought that was what we fought the war for.
To think I used to whinge about my hometown being boring. I'd give my eyes to you.
Forget it.
details on Scattermore. Work out to help out. This regulation is punishable by God. Must have swooped up.
The village of Wyndham is picturesque. The village of Wyndham is quaint. The village of Wyndham is dangerous. Be cautious.
Why here of all places? If they'd resolved to do something so awful, why in the church?
Some bugger, pardon my French, wanted to make a scene, sir.
Doom us all. Oh, please, I beg of you. Just forget you saw anything here and go. Please. So it seems. To visit this sort of thing upon the church is pure wickedness. Please, tell no one. I know how it seems, but I would not ask such a thing if it weren't for the good of the village. It's vital the military don't learn of this. We'll tidy up, but if the captain and his toy soldiers find out, things will become so much worse here. The shopkeeper? Good heavens above. I knew something was off about him, but nothing as foul as that. Then I must ask something of you. You're embroiled in this now, as much as we are. To find absolution, well, You must find some way to deal with Morris. An ally to those heathens in the woods is a danger to the village. Not that I'm suggesting you... Well, I'll leave it to your judgment. Thank you. It is a terrible thing to ask, I know. Now that Maisie is dead, there is no one else I can trust to be able to carry out such a task. And in the spirit of reciprocation, if you are in need of my help, you need only ask. You did? I see. Yes, it's true. She ran errands for me from time to time. I asked her to keep an eye on certain people. She has had quite a talent for it. I have a certain arrangement of sorts with some of the villagers. In a world as terrible as this, with evil in the soil and a military boot on their necks, who can blame those who turn to the church for protection? I offer what I can, in return for a small donation to the church. But it is necessary for me to keep some eyes on them as well. In case they waver, there is a lot of temptation within the zone, and temptation too easily leads to corruption. I am here if you wish to talk, to unburden your soul. And if you'll forgive me for saying so, you seem troubled. Might I ask why? I don't suppose, well, have you perhaps been hearing voices? You have? Oh, heavens, may the good Lord protect you. It is a sign of vile corruption. It cannot be tolerated. It must be confronted. I saw it in the baker's husband. The baker, Iris, told me he was hearing voices and had fallen terribly ill. I haven't seen her husband for a number of weeks now. So I trust she came to her senses and took the necessary action. You don't seem to be showing any other symptoms, however. Perhaps the corruption has not taken hold. You may stay without denunciation. For now. Please understand, I have a duty to this village. I do what is necessary to protect my flock. We have seen some very bad times here. I don't really know why such misfortune has befallen us. Only that it started with that wretched science city they built across the mere. They did something. Heaven knows what. And now it is laced with evil. You can smell it in the air. I doubt I would understand any of it. Besides which, the village occupies all my time. The people here need a guiding hand, not an oppressive one. The military presence, this protocol nonsense of theirs, has done that to us, and with no sign of respite. Pressure like that breeds corruption. I must obey the Lord's will and fight against such things. You, on the other hand, seem of a curious nature. I can offer you something, but you must be cautious about prying too deeply. Well, I was on cordial terms with one or two of the scientists stationed up here. The important ones lodged at a manor house out in ATOMFALL Woods. I doubt any are still alive. But they may have left notes or papers that could prove useful to you. But you didn't hear that from me. All right. Farewell, and God bless you.
Join the army to see the world and get some
Remember that your
action.
village is one of the few remaining bastions of normality within the zone. Keep it that way. Be normal.
Not sure about you.
Oh, who are you? I don't know you. You're not with the soldiers, are you? I run a lawful place here. Stick to every word of the protocol here, I do. Oh? Well, not that there's anything wrong with it if you did, it's just... Well, never mind. Now let me know if you're looking to buy something. What? You know that he's... Doesn't really matter how you know, does it? Look, I'll talk, but only to show you I'm doing nothing wrong. You have to keep quiet about this, please. Me husband, Philip, he went off exploring with one of his pals. Bloody fools, the pair of them. He said they were poking around in an old bunker and walked into a cloud of funny glowing spores or something. And he told me he started hearing voices. He says the voices hurt him. Whatever it was, it made him awful ill. He's not getting any better. Just a bit worse every day. He's upstairs, locked away, safe and sound, and not doing anything to hurt nobody. You know, we've had one mite of luck. Came by a special tonic, which does something to settle the voices in his head and keep the infection down. At least, while we can get it, it does. But look, what's your interest in all this? I'm sorry, but I don't have any of the tonic left. I know where you can get some, though. There's a lady, calls herself Mother Jago, out in Casterfell Woods. Brews the tonic to her own recipe. She lives out by the old mine. I can mark on the map where to find her. And listen, I hate to ask, but could I trouble you to get us some of the tonic? Just a single bottle. We're almost run out. All right, nothing certain, but if you can, it'd mean the world to me. Bye now.
Insubordination or disrespect against the soldiers protecting you here are...
Oh!
toe the line, you.
There has been an increase in outlaw activity on Slattern Dale. Avoid Slattern Dale until the area...
Keep your nose clean.
Those bean counters in War Office better have given her a war with us picture by now, or I'll want to know why not.
It's the World Cup this year, isn't it? I'm sure it is. I hope England nabbed it. To think, I used to whinge about my hometown being boring. I'd give my eye teeth to be back.
Citizens of Wyndham, the woods are still off limits. If you need to approach the woods for foraging, request an escort at the village hall.
What I can do. We're getting nothing done here.
Tastes like sheep dip. Better than nothing, mind.
Please, God, let the CO put me on the patrol roster. I can't stand this miserable shithole of a village much longer.
One more civic if we seek and I'll chop the bastard. Orders be blowed.
Citizens of Wyndham, we cannot guarantee your safety beyond the village palings. Do you have a good reason to leave the village? You are leaving Wyndham, and the quarantine protocol is no longer responsible for your safety. If you approach any military areas in the area, you will be presumed to have hostile intent, and you will be fired upon. Remember, a warning shot is a wasted bullet. You have been warned.
Bloody hell. You gave me a fright. What are we doing down there? How do? Not often am I seeing new faces here. My name's Alf Buckshaw. Welcome to what's likely the last pub in Cumberland, such as it is. Now, what can I do for you? Bet you weren't expecting to find a place like Wyndham still ticking over after all what's gone on here, were you now? Folk will get used to anything given time. Which isn't to say, it's not nice to see some new faces coming through here now and then. Reminds a fella just how strange this all really is. The captain likes strangers too. He treats them better than he does the rest of the village. Means he can do things us regular folk can't. You'd help out the village, would you? Let me ask you something. The soldiers, protocol as they go by. What do you make of them? Aye, well, you haven't been here long enough to know. Between you and me and the garden wall, let me tell you, it's like being under an army of occupation. Look, I'm willing to trust you've your heart in the right place, and I need help with summit. Soldiers have got their eyes on me, but they'll give you the benefit of the doubt, for the moment at least. I need to collect a few messages. Not important, you understand, but I can't stick me nose out of the door without the soldiers taking an interest. You they'll let walk out of the village, so I need you to go to Skethermore for us. I'm not interesting. Just need a mite of discretion in the gathering, if you follow me. There's something in it for you and all. Not asking you to do out for nout. I need a message collecting from Nora. Careful with her. She's not fond of strangers. But it'll be all right if you see I sent you. She hides out in her barn on Skethermore. I'll mark it for you. The other note is with a fella who skulks all over Skethermore. But we have a meeting place. I'll mark it on your map. Fair warning, though. Out in Skethermore, soldiers don't care who or what you are. They'll shoot before they ask. You let me know if there's aught else I can help you with. Keep your bloody voice down. Nothing brings the soldiers down on you faster than talking about that. Mayhap I heard rumours of it, but I can't see it out more than that. You helping me with those messages is a fair trade, I suppose. All right, let's talk. One of them scientists, in particular, used to come to drinking here. Before it all went arse upwards, that is. He liked his ale, that fella, and ale made him chatty. He told me he worked in something called the Interchange. Never said quite where it were, but he used to stagger off towards the substation round the back of here. So that might be worth a deco. Well, he said he worked on some gadget with that Dr. Garrow, who were a big noise over at the site. He called it a signal redirector. Top secret. Only a few of them made at the doctor's request. I've no idea what they were for. You could do worse than talk to Nora. She were there at the time, and she has a good brain, has Nora. Look, you didn't hear any of that from me, all right? Quiet as the grave, mate. I suppose I might be able to help a friendly traveller out. What sort of gear did you have in mind? I bet you could. But you wouldn't find anything like that in Wyndham. But there's a ruined mill out on Skethermore. There's a fella up there, more often than not, and he might have what you're looking for. Well, after it all went to cock and we got quarantined, London started sending in soldiers. To start with, folk were happy to see them. But after a while, it turned out there was bugger all they could do to help. When they found out they weren't being let back through the wall again, well, it got nasty. Plenty round here, I reckon. It's what it would have been like if the Nazis had invaded after all. Of course, you didn't hear that from me, all right? Aye, there were. And the captain weren't right happy about it neither. Now he calls it his duty to enforce the quarantine protocol. And it's pretty nasty about how he goes about it. Army boys even took it as their own name. But I reckon he secretly wants to get out of here, same as us. And he'll push us down if it gives him a leg up. Anyhow, I shouldn't be gossiping about this stuff. See you around.
This land looks safe. This land is not safe. You should be cautious in this land. This land may kill you.
Hello. I've not seen you before, have I? Welcome. Right, I've got a quick question for you. It might seem a bit blunt, but I've learned it avoids confusion later. You're not going to try and kill me, are you? Excellent answer. I can see we're going to get along like an house on fire. You're new around here, aren't you? Bootsy never forgets your face. And I haven't seen yours before. And you're not in uniform, which means you're not one of us army lads. course not. Hey, don't let this uniform give you the heebies. In here, we're nothing but tradesmen and customer, you and me. Take warning now. Outlaws have tried it on in the past, and it's made the patrols here in Skedamore a bit trigger-happy. If you've plans to wander about, be careful. Soldiers won't tell you from the next bugger, and they'll shoot before they ask. Now then, if it's supplies you're after, then Bootsy's your man. I'm Corporal Bootsy, by the way. Hello. I can get my hands on stuff for trade that the folks in the village can't. That's everything, yeah? Word to the wise. Everyone trades with old Bootsy, so there's always new things in stock. Come back and see any time. See you around, chum.